It. Welcome to another episode of Savage Time TV. I'm your host, AB Brisley, and today I got something special for you guys. I'm going to be starting on and doing my first documentary. Just a mini documentary. It's not a full length. Just a mini documentary. Me showing light to some people I think need to have the light shown on them, and just showing my support and raising awareness on their situation. This is going to be a great one, guys. The subject of this is Rajah Caruth. Young black man out here doing big things, and I wanted to just shed some light on him. Before we get into it, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're available on YouTube, iTunes, and all streaming services. Just put Savage Time TV in your search bar and it'll take you where you need to be. But let's get right into it. Rajah Caruth, man. Matter of fact, before we get into that, it's going to be about motorsports. Motorsport is one thing that I've been getting more interested in lately, especially with COVID. I talked about it before in my last past episodes about F1, Formula One racing. He does NASCAR a little different, but it's still motorsport. So let's get into it. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, to a Caribbean household. He grew up in Washington, D.C., and he is a student athlete and track star. He graduated from School Without Falls in 2020 and moved to Concord, North Carolina in the summer of that year. He's also a sophomore at Winston-Salem State University, HBCU, pursuing a major in motorsports management. Let's talk about that for a minute. He came up in Atlanta, Georgia. So, again, this is funny to me that he just even got interested in motorsport, because you just don't really see a lot of young black men getting into motorsports. And he grew up largely in Washington, D.C., which is dope. He went to HBCU, goes to HBCU right now. So I know that he definitely is close to the culture, and he's in the right place. And he's taking motorsports management, but tells me that he just doesn't want to drive. He wants to manage. He wants to build. He wants to maybe start his own team, doing something with business. I thought that was dope to see that. Even though he's very good at racing, he also wants to learn the behind the scenes, learn the logistics, learn things like that. So the motorsports management degree was really cool. But let's get into it, man. When and how did this dude, Rajah Caruth, and motorsport meet? Well, another great thing about this story is his father played a very big role in his life. Huge role, as you're going to see throughout the story. He played a huge role in Rajah Caruth's life, was always there to support him, and basically, help propel him to his dreams. But it all started when at the age of 3 or 4 for Rajah, where his father took him to see the movie Cars. Now, if you guys remember that movie Cars, I wasn't 3 or 4 when I saw it, but it definitely was different. And actually it was better than I thought. Like, it came out, I thought it was for kids, strictly for kids. I was like, there's no way an adult can watch this. And next thing you know, I'm sitting here watching it with my little brother and sister, like, damn, this is actually kind of funny. And I'm trying to see who win this shit. So that was pretty dope. And then after that, his parents had given him a book called NASCAR, The Complete 25-Year History. And it was said that he was reading it front to back, front to back, front to back, front to back so many times. He was a walking encyclopedia at this point. Knew everything about NASCAR, about the history. So he really took real interest in it at a young age. In 2014, his father took him to Richmond International Speedway. This is in 7th grade. That was the first time him being at a international speedway. I didn't even know Virginia had a international speedway. I know they have one in Dover over in Delaware. It's pretty big. So, and I'm not gonna lie, these people kind of sleep on them. When you see them, you don't think it's gonna be super big. These speedways are huge, massive. So I think for him to go there and see in 7th grade, okay, you could tell he's doing this in 7th grade. He already had his mind up in 7th grade. He knew what he was going to do. And again, I love how his father is right there with him. I love how his father is right there to show him the way and lead him into following his dreams. I love that, man. I can't say that enough. For his birthday in 2017, it was the first time he raced at an Autobahn, and he first time in a race at the Autobahn International Speedway in Maryland. I think this is dope. So he's about, at this point, a sophomore, 10th grade, and he's already racing. Most people ain't got their license. He's already racing. He's already First time in a race, first time doing this thing. He's already doing it at 16. I think I got my permit at 16. So that's definitely dope that he was able to test out some of his skills so early on, because you must really have to like this sport, because not bad, guys, but you really gotta like this sport because, one, it takes a lot of money for motorsport, and two, it's not like basketball or football where we can just go outside and do whatever. Like, oh, let me just get some shots up, or let's just throw the football around. Let's get a 5-on-5 going. It's not really like that. You got to kind of set up your practice time. You can't just, you really have to be dedicated to it, because you can't really act upon your wants as much as with other sports. So it kind of can be hard to keep interest. But he kept his interest and kept going. Now let's get into his intro to racing, man. So what he started doing was iRacing. Now, the funny thing about Roger is he didn't race go-karts. He didn't race the small cars. He didn't race the big cars. He got his intro to racing was iRacing, which is kind of like a video game, but it's not. It's like very high simulation. Professionals use it in their off time to practice and things like that. It's very real life simulating, but it's done on a computer. Man, I'm tired today, man. Goodness, I thought I got all that sleep. It's a computer-based racing simulation that allows members to experience being behind the wheels of real cars while driving on some of the world's most prominent tracks. In 2018, he's about at this point in 11th grade, his first year of iRacing. Caruth estimated that he ran as many as 500 races on his home setup and even made the playoffs in one of his leagues. 500 races. Now think about this, 500 races, man. In NASCAR, they're doing a lot of laps. They're doing at least 50 to 100, sometimes even more than that. 500 laps, Daytona 500. Like, so for him to put in all this work at such a young age, again, it speaks to the commitment that he had. Speaks on the mentality that he had. I can definitely speak from experience. In 11th grade, I knew what I wanted to do, but I wasn't putting my weight on it like this, man. It's great to see a young black man out here putting his weight on his dreams, and he knows what he wants and he's going after it. I love to see it. In 2019, he joined the Diversity Youth Development Program. This was 8 young drivers who traveled to Charlotte, North Carolina to compete, with Caruth earning one of the 4 spots and the right to race legend cars. Now these legend cars are, they're about 5/8 scale fiberglass full rendered versions of the famed NASCAR modified cars with speeds at his level approaching about 70 miles per hour. So just to put it in context, when they do race some of these cars, it's not like they're racing what you see on NASCAR on TV going 160, 170. Nah, these cars are made so they only go at a top speed of about 70 miles per hour, because again, these guys are still young. So he finally got to get inside the car. He was part of those 8 young drivers. Again, I think he was the only black male participant. NASCAR and just motorsports in general is a very white-dominated sport. And if anybody knows just about NASCAR, it's very white. Motorsports in general is just very white. There's not a very much representation of black people, black men especially. We do have God, I can't forget I can't remember his name. Let me think. But Bobby, I want to say it's Bobby Wallace. Hold on, let me make sure, because I don't want to butcher this guy's name whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure it's Bobby Wallace. No, it's not. Hold on, man. Hold on, because I'm not doing this, bro. We not. Bubba Wallace. There we go. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Bubba Wallace. So they have Bubba Wallace right now. He races with Jordan. He's probably like the only representation we've really had. And if you guys remember that news situation that happened a couple years back, just shows you, man, NASCAR is a very white dominated sport, and there are people there that don't want to see black people get into it. But we know, well, you know how we do. Once we get into something and we're given a fair shot, we're gonna excel. So let's get back into it. A NASCAR. The team that he joined was Rev Racing, a NASCAR-supported racing team that was launched with the goal of developing female and minority drivers. So I guess they're out here trying to make a way. They're at least trying. I can say that they're trying. At least they're trying, because at one point that wasn't even a thing. Now let's go into how he again showed this guy was great. The NASCAR Drive for Diversity Driver Development Program. It's a very rigorous, very rigorous program. Of the nearly 100 applicants, 10 were selected to compete in October 2019 in a 2-day combine at Daytona International Speedway and New Smyrna Speedway. His father said that at the end it was clear that there were a clear top 3, and that numbers 4 and 5, which he thought included Rajah, was debatable. So basically, this guy Rajah is a natural talent. Rajah Caruth is a natural talent. Because you have to remember, a lot of these other kids have been driving go-karts, all types of. They have really real experience, while Rajah really has only been doing this for a little bit, and when the experience he does have, it's on a simulation, and he was still able to place in the top 4, 5, or 6. And the thing with motorsports, again, that is different from a lot of other sports, is depending on how many people are on the field, if there's 20 people and you're finishing top 10, top 5, you're doing great. You're doing awesome. It's not one of those sports where it's only just first and nothing else. There's so many things that go into it. That for him to come in 5th or 6th is great, awesome. Most people probably expecting him to not even maybe come in last, maybe not even finish the race. Like, that's one thing that I've learned about motorsports, is that a lot of things can go wrong. So for him to place was awesome, man. It was awesome, and I'm really happy for him. That he's out there representing, because I can't wait to see what he does on the NASCAR track. A month later, NASCAR announced that Caruth had earned one of the 6 spots, becoming the only driver to advance in the NASCAR Drive for Diversity program with an only iRacing background and no real-world driving experience. So, like I said, he's really only trained on a simulation, and it was dope to see, man. He's been doing a lot of big things. Look him up, man. Rajah Caruth, young black African-American. Not African-American. He comes from a Caribbean household. My fault. He's Caribbean-American. And he's doing great things, and I'm just glad to see it. And I wanted to shine some light on his story and just on what he's doing right now. He's going to HBCU. He's making waves in a white-dominated sport at such a young age. He's got his father right next to him. It's awesome to see, and I had to come and tell you guys about it. I'm going to leave some links in the description for you guys. If you guys want to read up on him, I'm going to leave his Instagram if you guys want to see what's going on with him. It's great, man. It's just a really great story, and I just wanted to shine some light on it. Again, it's Rajah Caruth, man. Rajah Caruth. So, yeah, it's funny because I know it's Rajah Caruth, and for some reason I have it written on here as Rajah. I'm like, nah, it's definitely Rajah. It's definitely Rajah. So, again, check him out, man. He's a great guy. This is another episode of Savage Time TV. I'm your host, AB Brisley. This is my Savage News kind of thing. I'm going to be starting up. Just, picking prominent people that I think deserve a little bit more light, or that I just want to shine light and I'm interested in. And I'll be bringing you guys these types of this type of information and this type of content. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to my next one. If there's somebody that you would like to hear me talk about and put some shine some light on them, send them to me, email them, Instagram, anything, just contact me. Let me know who you want to hear, and I'll definitely put it out there. Again, this is Savage Time TV. I'm your host, A.B. Brisley, and you can like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube and search Savage Time TV in any search bar on any media streaming network, and we gonna be there. So check us out. Again, Rajah Caruth, shout out to you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. This is Savage Time TV. I'm out of here.